Hey everybody, it's Lenny Solomon Live, show number 327. Show number 327 here in Beit Shemesh, Israel, at the Shlock Rock Foundation. Here we are. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a week since I went on, and I meant to go on last week, but as they say in showbiz, it just didn't happen. It did not happen. So we are here. We're going to be talking today. We're going to be talking. We are not going to be playing any music. Next show will be music. Still waiting for that back to get a little bit better. It actually was better today, for those of you that are wanting to know. It was a little bit better, but still not good enough where I can stand for 20 minutes and do a show. So figured let's take this opportunity to do something a little bit different, something I'm going to call it behind the scenes. Erev Tov to Jason from Chandler, Arizona. He is number one to join in. He's watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, if you're watching on LinkedIn and X now, I might be off X until I become verified. I have to be verified now to be on X. Don't ask. Oh, a little hello to our controller, to our associate producer, Judy Hertzfeld, who is across the way. She is across the way in Clifton, New Jersey. Today is Southside, the Chicago White Sox Day. Can you believe that? Chicago White Sox play on the south side of Chicago. What song could I schlock, but I haven't done it yet, where the words are on the south side of Chicago? If anybody knows, let me know. I'm going to leave that open for you. On the south side of Chicago, which schlock rock song could I write? But I haven't written it yet, but I could write it. So again, it's Chicago White Sox Day. They play on the south side of Chicago. Yeah, I didn't do anything to myself, Jason. Jason wants to know what's wrong with my back. It's just one of those things. It just happens. But we have our seltzer. You have your seltzer, Jason? No, not Jim Croce. Or is it Jim Croce? You're right. It might be Jim Croce. You got your seltzer, everybody? You make a bracha, make a blessing. Shahakolni Hevid Varo, which I already had done. That's why I didn't make one just now. You're right. It is Jim Croce. And he wrote somebody that was very bad. He was somebody who was very bad. Anyway, so today we are going to you have peach seltzer. Jason likes peach seltzer. This is plain. This is the regular stuff. It's called 2 cents plain. Okay. Let's see. I'm getting texts. Let's see if you're on. If you could, let me see. The funny thing is that the Facebook people don't seem to be able to write to me. I find that to be difficult. Oh, well. All right. Right. Bad Leroy Brown. South side of Chicago. Anyway, you guys, so today we're going to talk about how we record a song. How do we record a song? That's what we're going to spend probably 15, 20 minutes talking about. But before we do that, let me just give a little bit of a plug for the Shlock Rock Foundation, www.shlockrockfoundation.org. The projects that we're working on right now is Shlock Rock 41 Old School. It's called Old School. It's a great, great project where we will be schlocking songs from the 70s and 80s, songs that we missed the first time around. That's the first thing. Also, we are raising money for Daniel in Babylon so that we can launch it hopefully before it turns bar mitzvah. That's our goal. It turns bar mitzvah next May 31st. So let's hope that we can get it out. Of course, you really can't count the 4 years of COVID, 3.5 to 4 years of COVID that kind of ruined everything in terms of Broadway and in terms of theater. So we could be a little bit lenient. So maybe we'll be lenient. But anyway, so here we are. You've written a song. You have come to me and you said, Lenny, I've written a song. Okay, great idea. You've written a song. Is it a good song? So I listen to it and I say, yeah, it's a good song. Now, what are you going to do? They say, well, we would like to record this song. You tell me that you'd like to record this song. And I say to you, okay, so there are two ways you could do this. You could do it on your own if you're a musician and you have any ideas of how to be a producer. If you don't, Jason says 2020 was erased. Okay, so but if you don't know how to be a producer, let's say you don't know how to produce, you need to have a producer. And what does that producer do? Well, he either arranges the song on his own. What does arranging mean? Each song has to have an arrangement. For instance, is your song going to have an intro? Is your song going to have, how many times are you going to play the first part? How many times are you going to play the second part? Will you have an instrumental? Will you modulate, meaning will you change keys from, let's say, from G to A flat or from G to A, depending on what key your song is in? So that's the first thing you have to figure out. Who is going to arrange the song and then produce the song? So if the producer is an arranger, then he will do all of the arranging, of course, for a fee. And what he will do then is he will hire musicians. He'll hire a drummer, a keyboard player or pianist, a bass player, and a guitar player. And those four guys are known as the rhythm section. So the rhythm section comes in to the studio. They're booked, let's say you actually have 10 songs that you want to record, and you've got a producer who arranged each song with you. You have to approve it, of course. You have to approve it, and then you approve the arrangement of the song. And now he hires the rhythm section. The rhythm section comes in. There's an engineer. There's maybe an assistant engineer, depending on how big the studio is. And you go in and you know the tempo of the song. Each song has a tempo. Tempo meaning what speed. Is it fast? Is it slow? Is it medium? And there's a metronome number which corresponds to the speed. So let's say the song is 100. The metronome number is 100. You set the metronome to 100 and you put it onto a click track. The click track goes into the ears of the drummer and the piano player and the guitar player and the bass player. And they say louder or softer because they have to hear it, because everybody has to play to the click. In the old days, you didn't have a click, and the old bands used to start at one speed and they would finish at a faster speed or at a slower speed. They were not perfect. And you could hear certain songs that started, let's say, metronome setting 120 and they finish at 136. So the song is sped up consistently. As a matter of fact, the early schlock rock songs, the Amuna album, the Jewish Pride album, we couldn't play to a click properly, and we just ended up playing without a click, which makes it very difficult when you want to overdub. I'm getting ahead of myself. So that is your basics with the rhythm section. The rhythm section comes in. You got your arrangement, which is now out in music. The arranger put it out on music and gives a copy to each one of the rhythm section guys. They play it through. There's a guy doing a track guide vocal on a mic that only they can hear and you can hear, but obviously it disappears when the real vocal goes down. Am I ahead of you guys? Are you following me? I hope so, because we've already spoken for 9 minutes about this stuff. Okay, but it's exciting. It's so exciting. I love recording. Love recording. All right, so here we are now. You have the rhythm section, and they lay down the tracks, the rhythm tracks. The rhythm tracks are so that you could. It is the basis of the song. It's the carpet of the song, the foundation of the song. Now you have a couple of options. You can either come in and sing the lead vocals, or you can immediately call the horn section. Let's say there's going to be a horn section, you're going to call them. They're going to come in. You have horn parts arranged. They're going to add the horn section. Or you're going to put guitar overdubs or sax overdubs, meaning let's say you have a sax solo in the middle of the song. So you're going to want the sax player to do it. But that's done, sometimes that's done later. You might just go right to the lead vocal. You get the lead vocal, that means the head of the band, meaning you're the one producing the song, you're singing. So you get the lead vocal, he comes in and he sings lead. And then after that, you bring in overdubs, horn section, guitar, percussion. If you want a percussionist, flutist, if you want a flutist, all of that. And then you have a song that's lead vocal and all the instruments. Great, right? Except now you have to put the harmonies in. How many are you going to bring in a group of people to sing harmony? Are you bringing in 3 people to sing one part each so that they harmonize with each other? Or are you just doing it yourself? In today's world, you could sing all the parts yourself. You don't have to hire people, but it's much more fun to bring in a group of people, obviously, because it becomes a party. You're recording parts and everybody's having a great time. They throw in their ideas. You got to make sure you don't spend too much time, because you don't want to spend too much money on this song, because you're probably paying the engineer by the hour. The engineer is the guy who has to record everything, so you're probably paying him by the hour, in the studio by the hour. That's usually his fee is worked into that per hour arrangement with the studio. So now you have the backup vocals, and now everything is in. Backup vocals, lead vocals, horn section, solos, guitar solo, flute solo, trumpet solo, sax solo, whatever it is. And you have, let's say, 24 or 26 tracks of each for a song. But now comes the hardest part, because now you've got to mix it. You don't mix it. The engineer mixes it. And then you come in, the engineer mixes it. What does that mean, mix? That means each track has to be heard within the other instruments. It's like a big painting. You're making a big painting. And when you listen to it, you're going to say, oh, the lead vocal's getting drowned out at 2:35. That means 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Let's raise his vocal there. Or you'll say, I don't like the effect on the lead vocal. Add some reverb, add some echo. And the engineer does that, unless he fights with you and says, no, I know better. That happens sometimes. And then you have the horn section. Where does the horn section fit with the rhythm section? You got to make sure that these things are all proportionate, or else you end up with a mess. There are lots of songs that sound like a mess. You might not realize it, but that's the way it is. And then finally, you have your finished mix, your final mix, where the lead vocals, the harmonies, the horns, the rhythm section, the solos, the overdubs, the backup vocals, everything, the drums, the piano, the guitar, the bass, everything is together. You hear every instrument. You play it on phones. You listen to it on your phone. You play it on headphones. You listen to it in many different ways, because you want to be able to make sure it's as clear and EQ the sound that it's the quality is the best. And finally, you say mix approved. And when the mix is approved, in the old days, they would have to bounce it down to tape. Everything was done on tape. But nowadays, there's no tape. All there is digital. Everything is Pro Tools. And what you do is you just, make a copy, an MP3, a WAV copy, and your ears have to rest a little bit. Because how long does it take to mix a song? It could be 2 hours. It could be 5 hours. It depends on, again, how much time you're putting in. Doesn't necessarily mean if you're putting in more time, it's going to be better. There's the famous law of diminishing returns where you keep listening and it doesn't get better. And your ears are playing tricks on you. And you think you're hearing this and you're hearing that and you don't know. Then you go to sleep the next day and you listen and you go, oh, wow, how did I miss that? Sometimes that happens. I've done 41 albums just of schlock rock. 42 I'm working on now. And then I've done lots of other albums with other people as well. So I've got a lot of experience in this. It's really but it's the most amazing thing. It really is. Producing. It's like you're going from nothing to something. Anyway, so where are we? So we are now at the end of the song. You've made the song. Now now the hard work begins, because now you got to decide, am I making a music video? So if you're making a music video, now you have a video producer. Now you have a director and a producer. They tell you what to do. And then if you do that, then you've got to figure out, okay, now you're going to put it on YouTube. You're going to put it on Spotify. You got to put everything on all the streaming sites. Because remember, if you can get 1 billion streams, that's around $3-4 million, maybe a little less. You'll have enough money to make lots of albums, but that'll also mean you have a hits record on your hands, which would be unbelievable. And that's the story. That is how you make a song. And then if you have enough songs, you can make an album. But nowadays, people don't really make albums. They release a song a month, or they do whatever they do. I kind of can't get past not doing an album. When you want to put out one song, you want to really put out 10 to 12, which is what I do. All right, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed this 17-minute production of me talking about how you make a song. The next time we come back, we will be playing music, God willing, and I look forward to that. I want to say, please go to www.schlockrockfoundation.org, make a donation so that we can continue to make music. Because this new album, Schlock Rock 41, if you write to me, I'll tell you what are the songs we are going to be schlocking on this album. You can decide if you want to sponsor a song. It's $2,500 to sponsor a song. So, go to www.schlockrockfoundation.org, click on donate. It's all there in front of you on the screen, and you are good to go. And if you only want to donate $18, you can do that and say, I want it to go to this. Or you could use it for Daniel in Babylon, to launch Daniel in Babylon. Those are the two big projects that we're working on this year, besides the Lenny Solomon live show, which you get to see sometimes 3 times a week, sometimes 2 times a week, and sometimes once a week. Well, we should hopefully see you 3 times this week. I'm hoping. We'll have to see. Keep on schlocking, everybody. Keep on schlocking in the free world. Hope you enjoy everything. And if you have any questions about today's show, email me, Lenny@schlockrock.com, Lenny@schlockrock.com, and we will schmooze. Once again, have a great night, and see you either tomorrow or Wednesday.